Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. 90 Day Fiancé's Rob Warren should never have been cast. His recent post about his son was moving, but he hurt Sophie Sierra and deserved his villain edit. 90 Day. The Last Resort star Rob Warren's actions prove he never should have been a part of the show with Sophie Sierra. Rob was introduced as an aspiring actor and model living in Los Angeles in 90 Day Fiancé Season 10. Rob and his British partner Sophie had bonded over their shared experiences of growing up mixed race. Sophie felt understood by Rob, even though she came from a life where she had nannies and maids and took frequent exotic vacations. Sophie was a real-life princess, but Rob made her forget where she came from. Rob made Sophie feel like she was unwanted and replaceable. He cheated on her with multiple women, even though he promised to spend a lifetime with her. Rob hurt Sophie on camera by bringing up her past. His lack of accountability left fans feeling disappointed in Rob. Rob thinks he got a free pass to talk to other women when Sophie walked out of their marriage. Instead of cleaning up his act and proving to Sophie he can change for her, Rob has been fishing for sympathy by using his son. Rob isn't just part of a group called 90 Day Bad Boys, but embodies one to the core. He's been accused of treating Sophie badly since his debut. Sophie was concerned about moving to America to marry Rob because of his online cheating. He was not to be trusted, which is why Sophie snooped through his phone multiple times and even found evidence he was cheating. He didn't react positively to Sophie coming out as bisexual. He refused to provide his wife with basic amenities like a bathroom or a duvet to make her feel comfortable in her new home. All Sophie wanted was for Rob to take accountability for his actions, but his sole motive was to make Sophie feel bad about leaving him. Rob learned to position himself as a victim because Sophie didn't treat him right. He came across as resentful, humiliating his wife and picking on her, even shaming her for something that happened years ago in her life. Perhaps Rob's relationship could have worked out better if he had shown some transparency to help rebuild the trust in their marriage. Instead, Rob tried to mask his manipulative behavior and insecurities behind a mask. Rob's actions left Sophie feeling broken, but her husband was too engrossed in making himself look back to realize. He was the cheater, yet Sophie was the one crying and feeling bad about the demise of what had once been a modern fairy tale romance. Sophie gave Rob multiple chances because this was her shot at having a healthy family since she came from a broken home. With her marriage not working out, Sophie doesn't have anything to look forward to in the U.S. She's even considered going back home, in the hope she can hit reset on her life. Rob recently reached out to his fans to tell them his pet dog, aka Son, had been diagnosed with cancer. Rob's dog, Rome, is more than family to him. He's been by Rob's side and has grown up with him. However, Rob seemed to be telling fans about his dog to get sympathy and perhaps even monetary help. It served as a temporary distraction to 90 Day. The Last Resort fans from his wrongdoings, but unfortunately for him, it will never be enough for Rob to erase the villain image he's already built in fans' minds. Rob Warren, a name that once buzzed with intrigue among 90 Day Fiancé fans, has recently made headlines with a post that stirred a storm of mixed emotions. His post, which he referred to his son as part of his life, sparked controversy, especially when paired with his tumultuous history on the show. The show 90 Day Fiancé, notorious for capturing the most bizarre, heartfelt, and dramatic love stories, has a knack for showcasing personalities that elicit strong reactions. Rob Warren, however, should never have been cast in the first place, considering the emotional roller coaster that his appearance brought to viewers and his unfortunate impact on Sophie Sierra. Let's delve into why Rob should have never been included in the franchise, what his recent post implies, and why the villain edit he received was, to be blunt, well-deserved. A toxic relationship dynamics. Rob's manipulative side. From the moment Rob Warren graced the screen, many viewers saw his relationship with Sophie Sierra and the way he treated her in the show as problematic, manipulative, and ultimately damaging. His actions seem to have been calculated, with his intentions towards Sophie often questioned. The most concerning aspect of his portrayal on 90 Day Fiancé was the way he often gaslighted Sophie, which created a toxic and controlling atmosphere. While many couples on the show are far from perfect, Rob's behavior took things to a level that bordered on psychological to Sophie, constantly downplaying her concerns and disregarding her feelings, highlighted a disturbing pattern. Sophie expressed feeling neglected and disrespected in the relationship, and Rob failed to meet her emotional needs. Rather than acknowledge Sophie's emotional turmoil, Rob dismissed it and even went as far as to say that Sophie was overreacting or being dramatic. In an environment where trust and mutual respect should be the foundation of any relationship, Rob's actions turned the relationship into a battlefield, further cementing his negative reputation among the 90 Day Fiancé audience. The recent post, a poor attempt at redemption. Recently, Rob posted something that seemed to be an attempt at rebranding his image. He referred to his son and expressed what appeared to be heartfelt sentiments about his role as a father. However, this post didn't sit well with many people. While the sentiment seemed touching on the surface, it came across as hollow when placed alongside the context of his actions on the show. It was as though Rob was attempting to cast himself in a more sympathetic light, but his previous behavior suggested otherwise. Many fans couldn't help but see the post as an example of him trying to manipulate the situation for his own benefit. The timing, too, seemed off. It appeared to be an attempt to redeem himself in the eyes of those who had previously vilified him. What was missing was accountability. Rob failed to genuinely apologize for the way he treated Sophie, nor did he show a real understanding of why his actions were so hurtful. Instead, the post felt more like a cover-up, a tactic to distract from his history of emotional neglect and manipulation. The hurt Sophie Sierra endured. Sophie Sierra's journey on 90 Day Fiancé was one that resonated with viewers who felt sympathetic toward her. She entered the relationship with Rob, hopeful and eager for a future together. However, as the show went on, it became increasingly clear that Rob wasn't the man she deserved. Sophie's attempts to open up to him about her emotional needs were met with indifference, and her attempts to get closer were often sabotaged by Rob's lack of understanding and care. It was heartbreaking to watch Sophie continuously put her trust in someone who didn't value it. Her patience seemed to stretch thin as Rob's selfishness became more and more apparent. Viewers saw a young woman trying to salvage a relationship with someone who clearly wasn't equipped to handle it. Rob's treatment of Sophie took a toll on her self-esteem and sense of worth. The public nature of their troubled relationship also magnified her pain. Sophie didn't just suffer in private. The world was watching as her emotional well-being was disregarded by Rob time and time again. When Rob posted about his son, Sophie's pain must have been palpable. It was a stark reminder of the emotional abuse and manipulation she endured, which left fans questioning whether Rob even understood the weight of his actions. How could someone who had hurt another person so deeply suddenly claim to have a strong, fatherly bond with a child? The cognitive dissonance was jarring, and for many, it was impossible to reconcile. Rob's villain edit, rightfully earned. In reality television, an edit can make or break a person's public image. For Rob, the 90 Day Fiancé producers undoubtedly provided him with a villain edit that reflected his behavior towards Sophie. In many ways, this was justified. Viewers were subjected to watching Rob's condescending attitude and lack of empathy, especially during moments where Sophie was vulnerable. The show highlighted his inconsiderate nature, which stood in stark contrast to the more genuine characters who treated their partners with kindness and respect. Rob's portrayal wasn't one of a misunderstood hero or a victim of editing. It was a reflection of his true self as he appeared on screen. The villain edit was not a mere creation by the producers to drum up drama. It was a direct result of Rob's actions and behavior during filming. While some viewers may argue that reality television edits are manipulative, in this case, Rob's behavior warranted the portrayal he received. The unflattering depiction of him helped shed light on the kind of person he truly was. And unfortunately, it didn't paint a pretty picture. Conclusion: Rob Warren should have never been cast. The 90 Day Fiancé franchise thrives on its ability to showcase both the beautiful and the ugly sides of relationships. Rob Warren's appearance on the show, however, leaned heavily toward the latter. His toxic behavior towards Sophie Sierra, combined with his recent attempt at redemption through his post about his son, left many fans feeling unsettled. Rather than showing genuine growth or understanding, Rob's actions revealed that he wasn't willing to take full accountability for the harm he caused.